And let's see exactly how it goes down. In the top right-hand corner, spawning in as the blue Protoss, ISL3 Sneazel. And in the bottom right-hand corner, spawning in as the brown Protoss, ISL3 Jumper. I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, PvP, I'm tuning out of this, but don't be tuning out. Stay on this, because this is going to be some good stuff. PvP brings the excitement, brings the noise, and you can also rely on Jumpers to do exactly that. So this is guaranteed to be non-stop stuff. If you haven't already, please head over to Reddit and upvote our Reddit thread, which I'm sure some nice person will now link into the stream chat, because it's very important more people watch this fantastic set that's about to be coming up right now. If you're also confused as to exactly what you're watching and why, go over to altitudeisl.net, where you can see all results, standings, and news from the tournament all in one super cool place.
Indeed. So, as you said, these are two very talented players, Jumper and Sneazel. Jumper, obviously known for his Dark Templar play, as he's a player who loves to build them in all matchups and can be quite creative in exactly how he gets them in. Especially on maps where there's a little bit more leniency than on Jade, where everything's so straightforward. But, nonetheless, certainly a possibility that he's going to be able to find a way to sneak them into his opponent's base. And Sneazel, known for his High Templar play, really a player who does lots and lots of very nice storm drops. And I'm a little bit interested by exactly what Jumper's doing right now, because he's going 2 gates.
Yeah, I'm half expecting to see a Jaehoon style 2-gate right here. I'll never forget that famous game, that fantastic timing attack. I'm not quite sure who it was against. I think it was against Best, in fact. And I'd love to see that coming out from Jumper. I've actually been doing it on ladder a little bit. It is very effective, whereby you go for the 2-gate, quite fast expand, and then you get a big timing attack in the middle of the game with speed outs and reaves. I know it's too early to call that kind of thing right now. Could just be a standard at 2-gate, but we do have a 12 next happening from Sneazel, and oh no, Sneazel, what are you doing? You're going to have so much trouble defending against this, and it's going to be a long time before he gets to scout. Very sensibly scouting in both directions at once, however, so not quite as bad as it could be, but still, Jumper taking a nice build order advantage early on in the game. How will Sneazel react to this?
This is such a cool build order, specifically tailored for Sneazel. Sneazel is a very high level player who loves to 12 next in a lot of his PvPs. Not only that, but Jumper keeping a probe in the middle there, he saw the direction that Sneazel was coming from, and then sent his probe to immediately scout out in that direction just to make sure that it was a 12 next. But Sneazel cancels his 12 next and throws down 3 gateways immediately. So he's going to be very late with his gateways, but it might be what he needs to do to just survive here, as the first 3 zealots are already on the way for Jumper.
Oh, yeah, and it looks like we're going to have a shield battery play happening up at the front here as well. We have that probe making ready to lay it down. Is it going to be a forge? Whoa. Jumper, what is in your head? Are you seriously doing a cannon rush combined with a 2-gate? What a serious boss. And this can actually work really, really well, because we have a 3rd gateway before gas happening at the other side of things for Sneazel. So this could be really, really nice for Jumper. He just needs to make sure he has a probe left alive here, because he's running the risk of actually having that probe picked off in the main. But if he can hold the top of this ramp, then he's going to put himself in a very, very good position. And oh no, the probe actually wandering off a little bit. Will it get picked off right here? It might do. And Jumper isn't bringing up another one quite yet. And I think you should do that just as a contingency plan. Getting in there as well, doing some decent micro. Might be able to pick off one probe to start proceedings. But he's not going to get himself in a very good position. And these zealots might actually make their way all the way up the ramp right now. One does get out and might be able to prevent the building of cannons. He's going to have to run away with that probe. And Jumper doing a slightly inefficient micro, but in the main base he is getting a decent enough position, managing to take down one zealot, doing a direct trade 1-for-1, bringing in more reinforcements from the back now as well. One cannon getting picked off, but he is still keeping that probe alive, trying to micro on 2 fronts, but he has lost a fair few zealots here, and he fails to hold position on the ramp. And he really needs to get rid of these zealots just as quickly as possible, otherwise this rush is going to be an embarrassing failure.
Oh, yeah, Jumper, Sneazel didn't know that the cannon rush was happening, and if Jumper had been able to micro around, just delay Sneazel for a while longer, and that cannon had finished, that could be a game, that could be a devastating position for Sneazel to be in, having those cannons already done. But now he knows that that's what he needs to do, and he finally is able to snipe that probe, stop it from being able to build cannons, and Jumper will have to send another one. But at the same time, Sneazel is proxying gateways, bottom left. Oh, and he will have a sneak attack opportunity against Jumper if indeed he is contained. Counter the cheese with the cheese. And Sneazel trying to bust out here. He does have a zealot advantage. It looks like Jumper's going to be forced back. And finally the probe comes, but the probe is a little bit too late, and it looks like that it will not work out. Sneazel with a huge number of zealots, and Jumper's going to have to return home. And he might be in a little bit of trouble here, as Sneazel has 3 gateways and a large number of zealots coming to attack him right now. 4 gateways, excuse me.
Yeah, this has been such an unnecessary disaster for Jumper. I mean, he had a good position. He could have just held on the ramp and let the cannons come in. I don't know why he felt the need to push down into the main base when it seemed like he was in such a commanding position and his cheese was going to be effective in taking Sneazel by surprise and denying him the 12 next. But you just got too impatient and insisted on giving up a decent position, and he's really going to pay for it here. He's forced back onto the back foot now against a very superior number of gateways. I don't know how he can defend this. He's going to be up against twice his own number of gateways coming in for Sneazel.
Yeah, this is... He's just barely behind in supply, but Sneazel's going to be able to reinforce so easily. It's a huge zealot on zealot battle, and Jumper's going to be forced to react first as those zealots whittle away on his gateways because Jumper built them so far forward. They're actually quite vulnerable. He's now throwing down the cannon. He needs to try to delay as long as possible to get that cannon up. He's now, in fact, supply blocked even, as he lost the pylon up at the front, and that's going to put a hamper on it. But he now has an advantage in the zealot numbers, going to be able to do some damage on him on the way back. And I don't think he's quite realized that there is this proxy over here that may come back to bite him if Jumper gets too aggressive. We'll see exactly how Sneazel's going to be able to use that, but Jumper, for the meantime, is putting on the aggression despite being supply blocked.
Yeah, this has actually somehow worked out for Jumper. I mean, he got a superior engagement position there, and Sneazel hasn't really been able to maintain production out of all these gateways. I mean, credit to him, he has managed to tech up in the meantime, so it's not really so much of a mistake as it is a conscious decision to kind of take a little bit of a pause back from the zealot production, scale it back a little bit, and get some dragoons in. But those 2 proxy gateways still could, the 1 proxy gateway, excuse me, could still come into decent play and get reinforcements over there. He is making a dragoon out of it already, so he is going to be using it. And Jumper's trying again, laying down the pylon. And will he be sensible this time and just maintain his position? It's pretty much a race against time for Sneazel, whether he can break out or not.
Yeah, and Jumper's not going to take the bait. It's fine to let 1 dragoon shoot at zealots and ignore and just accept the damage. You don't want to let your zealots get out of position. You just need to stall right now. You don't need to win any of these engagements. But picking off a zealot right there isn't something that's going to hurt. And Sneazel, Sneazel's having a difficulty microing this. He does have dragoons now, and it's taxing Jumper. It makes Jumper really want to jump down and engage, but you just need to remember, as soon as that cannon finishes, he's in a great position, but he needs to keep some of these zealots alive. He can't afford to waste them all. He needs to try to just delay combat as long as possible until he can get that cannon up. The zealots are making their way up. The zealots are getting close enough to the cannon. They might be able to start firing at it, but most of the zealots are down for Jumper, and the cannon is going to finish, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he couldn't keep enough of his zealots alive, and now that triple gateway production was too much for Jumper to handle, and now once again Jumper's going to be forced to back, but Jumper has built a nexus that he hasn't populated yet, so he's not going to use it. And oh, it's okay, he has a citadel. He has a citadel.
Okay, so if he can get Templar in time, if he can just hold off for a little bit, then he could just be alright, because he's going to have Dark Templar, whereas from the other side of things, mobile detection at the very least is going to be very late. It looks like we could have a 2 Dragoon robot here. The probe is going to need to come in and block it, and 2 Dragoons popping out at the opportune moment, but nonetheless, this surprise attack is going to be effective, and Jumper, I don't know how he's even going to defend this. Oh no!
Oh no, GG!
GG from Jumper. So what an epic failure there from him. The cheese going completely wrong. He's going to go to game 2 with Jumper 1-0 down. Nice response though from Sneazel. Can't fault him there. He was calm at every stage and really used all his opportunities well.
Oh man, Jumper looked so good. And then he looked so not quite as good. Oh man, there were like 10 different times in that game where if Jumper can hold on for X more seconds, he will be fine. Coming down to the very end, where he just need to hold on for X more seconds before DTs come down, because there was no way Sneazel was going to have any detection. Oh man, that's
a little bit disappointed there. I was expecting that game to go a little bit better for Jumper, I've got to be quite honest. But nonetheless, we go on to game 2. So these guys are going to be continuing to slug it out, and may all games be as epic as the ones we have seen here so far today. Really, really top stuff. So going to this next match, we have Jumper 1-0 down against the almighty Sneazel. Here it is.
Oh man, that was game 1. That was game 1.
Yes.
Oh man.
And it doesn't get much better from that. So in the bottom right hand corner, we have ISL Jumper spawning in as the blue Cheese Toss. And on the left-hand side, spawning in as the teal Protoss, we have ISL 3 Sneazel. Now, will we see a continuation for last game, or will we see more standard stuff? My spider senses are tingling and telling me that Jumper's going to make DTs. What do you reckon?
I will be certainly disappointed if there is not a DT made in this series by Jumper. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be surprised if this turns into a very standard 3-base, first 3-base, 200 army. Let's shake hands at the end of the day for a good, well-fought battle. Something weird's gonna happen by one of these two players, because both of these players definitely have it in them to bust out a little bit of oddity when the time calls.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, this could be the battle of the weird styles. But either way, completely standard stuff to open up. We're not having any proxy gate kind of action happening. Not that we'd expected on this map, because of course it is a 3-player map, so it's a little bit harder to really get any kind of an idea where your opponent is early enough. And the scout heading out actually quite early though for Jumper. Significantly earlier than Sneazel. Sneazel scouting after gateway, and as a result we can see that Jumper's gateway is a little bit later than Sneazel's. Not too much of a difference, but it is just a little bit of an economical disadvantage in the early game.
Well, Jumper's going to scout correctly, and Sneazel will see the direction Jumper's probe is coming in. So both players getting scouting in the correct direction. On a map like this with the small ramp, it's possible that one zealot could have blocked. So a little bit fortunate for Sneazel that he caught which direction Jumper was coming from, and will certainly be able to get in there before the zealot could come out. And yeah, we're going to see Sneazel not go back to the 12 next, which a pretty reasonable decision to make given the events of Game 1. I don't know if I'd want to try to get by the skin of my teeth once again in that manner. But Assimilator down for Jumper and not down for Sneazel. Is Sneazel... Where's Sneazel spending his money?
I'm not quite sure. I think he's saving up. It's going to be a
yes.
Nexus. Has to be a Nexus. Up one gate.
One gate expand?
Yeah, there it is.
Is that a build?
Yes, it is now. I think I do remember seeing this in the past. I mean, it's a little bit off kilter. It's not completely unheard of, but it is a little bit weird, and that's possibly exactly what he wants. I mean, he wants to confuse Jumper and throw him a little bit of a curveball here, because one of the best ways to really take an advantage in the early game is to throw your opponent's game plan completely off and to make him improvise something, which this kind of build does. So we'll see how this works out for Sneazel and how Jumper reacts.
Yeah, well, Sneazel's not going to have a huge army disadvantage, as the Cyber Core isn't that much later than Jumper's. Jumper's finishing now. Sneazel's doesn't actually need much longer. His army isn't going to be that much smaller. Just a couple of just probably like 2 zealots, maybe 2 zealots and a dragoon smaller. But I don't know. I think that this might actually really work out well for him. The Robo facility has been thrown down for Jumper, and Sneazel sees it. So Sneazel knows what's coming from Jumper, most likely fast Reavers, as Jumper scouted that fast Expo, knows the DTs aren't necessarily a threat. He might be able to skip going Observers first and delay that a little bit, especially he still has the probe in the base.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely going to be able to get a fully decent scout. We have the Robo happening at the other side of things for Jumper. This could be good if he can get some really good Reaver action going down onto the front door of Sneazel, and that's probably what's in his mind. Did the Dragoon upgrade range upgrade finish already, or has he cancelled it so he can make way for the super early Reaver?
That was not started, or
okay,
it's not finished at least.
Yeah, so it's definitely got to be a pretty quick Reaver burst coming in from Jumper right here, which could work out pretty nicely. And yes, the shuttle begins already, so he's going to be laying down the robotics support bay any second now. He has 3 zealots and 1 dragoon blocking the ramp, so this is going to be an all-in push from him. There's going to be a very, very small timing window, and this is one of those quite old builds that's good in a number of situations. You can use it in either PvP or in PvZ. It's good in kind of a variety of situations. And Sneazel heading out now with the first dragoon going to be seen off by the forces of Jumper. The robotics support bay is now in. That Reaver's going to start in a second. We'll see if Sneazel can respond to this. he is going to have a decent number of Dragoons out, so he might just have the might with which to deal with it, and Dragoon range well on the way for him as well. This is going to be pretty tight for Jumper.
Yeah, I don't think that Jumper can get there before Dragoon range finishes. It does take quite a while for that Reaver. Yeah, there's no way he can get there before Dragoon range finishes. And those ranged Dragoons are just so much better than unranged Dragoons. I don't know how well this build can work out. Maybe the very fast Reaver can put some pressure on Sneazel in the form of harass. There are some good opportunities for harass on this map, but I don't know how this is going to work out for Jumper.
Yeah, we'll see. This is not at its heart going to be a harassment-based play. This is a timing burst-based play. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I think that it can be effective. I mean, look at the number of Dragoons that Sneazel has at his front door. He has only 3 Dragoons at the moment, 4 now, and he'll be able to reinforce fairly fast from now on. But there is a very small window of opportunity which Jumper can hit, and he's got to try and hit it now. But he has to make full effective use of his Reaver and land some really good scarabs, and he's about to push out. It looks like Sneazel's going to push out as well. This could be a mistake for Sneazel, which could cost him a lot because they're going to be pretty much even in terms of unit count, but Sneazel is going to see the shuttle there with that 1 scouting Dragoon, and of course no Dragoon range means it's very difficult to pick anything off from Jumper's point of view. But if he can get a good engagement right now on Sneazel, then he can come out on top of this.
Yeah, Sneazel's actually getting really aggressive here. He's going in for the snipe! He's going in for the snipe, and no! Does not quite get the shuttle. The shuttle's going to be able to get away, but the Reaver's not in the best of positions, and Sneazel's units are very fragmented out, meaning, oh no! Meaning that the Reaver was not able to do a lot of damage before it ultimately was taken out, and Sneazel's now going to push forward with more Dragoons and a far better economy than Jumper. Jumper's, oh man, he's going to be forced back here, probably lose one of the Dragoons as they try to scramble up the ramp. Yep, loses 1 Dragoon as he tries to scramble up the ramp. And this is just a terrible position for Jumper to be in. I don't think there's a way back into this game for him.
Yeah, that engagement position could not have been better for Sneazel. He managed to get the shuttle on the run, he managed to get the Reaver down in a little bit of a panic, managed to focus down the Reaver, managed to spread his Dragoons very well, and then eventually just snipe out the shuttle just as calmly as he liked. So great position to be in right now for Sneazel. I don't know if there's any way back into this for Jumper. Certainly he's going to have a hard time as Sneazel comes around for the flank of the big ramp. It may just be enough to defend for Jumper for the time being, but the 3 Zealots going to make life very difficult, and in they go. Going to try and get the big engagement off. Sneazel is going to have to micro in quite carefully against Jumper. Jumper microing back quite well, and now microing forward to try and pick up the Dragoons, but it's not going to be enough because there are more Dragoons coming in the back for Sneazel. 1 Dragoon heading on straight into the main as well, and I think Jumper's forces are going to be cleaned up here by the superior Dragoon count of Sneazel, and at the very least he's going to be denying this expansion. The Zealots coming in to reinforce now as well. I think this is going to be it in game 2 for Jumper, and he's having a whole lot of trouble right here against Sneazel, and he could stand to go out 3-0 here if he doesn't pull out something special. GG!
Yep. Once again, very nice game by Sneazel. Sneazel seems to do everything right in the 2 games so far. It's going to be hard for Jumper to turn this around.
Yeah, very hard indeed.
Alright, so game number 3, Sneazel versus Jumper, moving into New Bloody Ridge. And there are an incountable number of places to proxy on New Bloody Ridge. Yeah. I think that that's the best option at this point. I really do.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. He needs to pull out something crazy. And what is going on in the chat? People not being nice to Jumper. Be nice to Jumper. Jumper's cool, man.
Yeah, that Sneazel's just really good. It's easy to look bad when going up against a player who doesn't make mistakes. Yeah. So by no means is Jumper a pushover. Jumper's solid player.
Yeah. Absolutely, I agree. Even if he does cheese, hey, cheese is valid, DTs are valid, they're in the game, and if you use them to their full effect, then you can win games and you're a good player. And Jumper has got a good variety of stuff which he can break out, and I think it's a bit much to count him out of this, and a bit much to suggest that he sucks. And Jumper straight away heading out with a probe. Thanks for proving me right there about your cheese there, Jumper. Thanks a lot for backing me up on that one. And out goes this first probe heading out into the middle of the map, and this is the ultimate cheese map, as I've already said, and it's about to happen right here.
Yep, that's Jumper taking my advice from the past. He's moving out. He's He's going to proxy somewhere. Could be in-base proxy, could be at either of the two very close expansions. Probably wouldn't be in the center. That's not
full screen.
I got it. Yeah.
Good.
And in the natural. In the natural. That's I named every other expansion. Why not? In the natural, the probe coming out for Sneazel won't actually go that far over if Jumper hugs here with 1 or 2 gateways. All right, man. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Let's see that proxy.
I'm going to switch over to see Sneazel's view so I can just see if he does actually see this as the probe scout heads on out, which he's going to in just a second, throwing down the gateway. And I now see exactly what Sneazel sees. He's heading out, and I don't know if Jumper's laid down the gateways. He does see the probe as it comes out, and he sees it coming from that direction. And that is a dead giveaway. And straight away, he heads on over and spots out that gateway. So this is going to be so hard for Jumper. Let's have a look at the gateway timings and do a little bit of comparison right now. We have Jumper's gateway coming in slightly after that of Sneazel. What a rough position to be in.
And Jumper literally 0.8 of a second too slow with that probe, because if he was 0.8 of a second faster, he would have been coming in from the correct direction. Sneazel would have had to guess that that Jumper had proxied there, which is very unlikely. But no, he saw the probe come from that direction, immediately scouts it out, and now, Sneazel's, I wouldn't be surprised if he throws down 3 gateways once again. Looks like Jumper, going for a little bit of a manor pylon. Why not at this point? It's going to be a really long time.
Just go all in. Might as well throw down a manor pylon if you need the supply. And Jumper's going to have such a tough time here. I mean, it seems like he's going to be pretty much all in on this, whatever he decides to do. There's nothing really he can switch to at this point. He is committed. If he can make this work, I will absolutely eat my hat. I mean, I know I've said that in the past, and I've been forced to, eat my hat. But this time, I really think it's not going to happen. Jumper going to get in and try and do some economic damage. The probes are going to shut him down pretty easily, and Sneazel is very, very capable of microing his probes away one at a time. And that first Zealot's on very, very low health already. Oh, sneaky probe kill there. Nice job by Jumper, doing a little bit of cheeky micro. Another probe in there, but does now get taken out. So Jumper with an unsupported Zealot running around Sneazel's main. Another one coming in now too. But there is a probe in his main as well, and if Sneazel gets the edgeways, I'm pretty sure he'll be throwing down a proxy gate. But Jumper, meanwhile, getting one more probe kill with his fresh Zealot, but losing the previous one. So not doing quite the damage he needs to, and he is fighting a very, very uphill battle against here. 2 gateways against 1 in Sneazel's favor.
Yeah, he rebuilt. Excuse me. He's building a gateway in its own maid, just to try to defend off when Sneazel inevitably sends a Zealot down there to harass probes. But Jumper's just not doing enough damage of his own with his own Zealots. Sneazel's even hiding a probe down here. Who knows what he could be planning on doing with that, but oh man, Sneazel's going in for the attack. He's even ignoring the excuse me, the gateway that's in his natural, just moving right past it. And there's no way Jumper can defend against all the things that Sneazel's going to be sending at him now. Oh man, Jumper.
Yeah. Poor Jumper. I mean, this is not the way he would have wanted to go out of this. I mean, he's not necessarily done yet, but he's going to have such a hard time. He'd have to have some absolutely fantastic drilling at this point to actually make this work. He's going to have 1 Zealot in order to defend, which is going to do nothing more than screw up his enemy Zealot's AI a little bit. He's doing a very good job of picking off probes at the other side of things, however. Sneazel with a very, very weak economy now, so if he holds on to this, he might actually be in with a shot. And that's impressive stuff. So Sneazel not in the clear-cut position he looked like he might be, and if Jumper can get this next Zealot out, then he might be in a decent position. Managing to pick off 1, and he needs to keep this Zealot right here alive if he's going to actually make this work. But he's getting a nice engagement position in here. He's got the probes in there as well, and he has a vastly superior probe count, so he can actually afford to use some of them in defense, and he might be able to beat this off. The shield battery is now in for Sneazel, but oh my god, 1 Zealot getting completely trapped, and this is looking really good for Jumper all of a sudden. Sneazel's economy is shot to pieces. Jumper producing another Zealot out of that gateway at the top as well, and this might work for Jumper. He might be still in this. He might be able to take it to the next game.
How? How does Jumper have 1.5 times the supply of Sneazel? Sneazel just got too greedy in sending those 3 Zealots out, and I said he was going to ignore the gateway in his natural. I thought it was going to work out for him, but was a little bit worried, and no, it did not work out for him at all. Jumper managing to do enough probe damage that now, once he holds off this attack, he's going to have the better economy. And the proxy shield battery from Sneazel nowhere near enough to help him win.
GG! GG! What the hell, Jumper?
Oh man.
Wait to be a boss.
Would you like me to turn on the video call so that everybody else can see you eat your hat?
Oh no, that's not fair. I can't believe this happened twice. I swear this happened last. Oh. I'll have to get a hat in.
Jumper, okay, you know what, man? If you can win the game when he scouts out your proxy immediately, proxy every game. There's no reason not to at this point. You need to channel your inner Oya. Just proxy. Do it.
Yeah, if Jumper wins this, then it's going to be a storyline to tell through the ages. But great stuff there in that game. We have not been disappointed so far. So yeah, ready to go on into the next match, and I am super excited for this.
Oh man, the game's up. Jumper routinely has upset people in ISL in high-profile games, and are we gonna see it again? Can he get the reverse sweep on Sneazel?
Before we start, I am happy to say that if you wish me to go on Skype on a video chat and eat my hat just a little bit, I will do that if it's necessary to prove to all these guys.
Doing it.
I mean, the option's open. That can happen.
Doing it. I'm finding your Skype window. Cannot resist.
Cannot resist that offer. I have a hat already. I'll have to chase it with a cookie. I think that's what's going to happen right here.
I think I have to end the call first, so I'll call you right back.
Okay, sweet.
Oh man, your webcam's not on.
It's on the way.
On the way.
Okay, here I am, guys. Complete with hat and cookie to chase.
That's a big
cookie.
Here it is. I'm now more jealous of your cookie.
Yeah, it's a good cookie. It looks even better when you compare it to the hat. But we're ready to go. So here I am, taking a bite out of my hat. I think I've upheld my end.
Man. Oh, casting lore right now, right there.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that was a fluffy hat.
Oh yes. All right, starting the game.
Yeah. Never let it be said that I don't uphold my end of the agreement.
Damn straight. Sneazel versus Jumper, game number 4 on match point. Here we go.
Okay, so after that debacle, let me call out the positions. On the bottom left-hand corner of the map, ISL 3 Sneazel, and on the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning in as the teal Protoss, we have ISL 3 Jumper. And next time I bet on Jumper not winning a game, I'm going to bet on something a lot more tasty than my best waterproof hat.
Oh man, I was just about to ask you if you had any particular predictions. And what? What is this? What is this? We have a meeting in the middle of 5 scout probes. They were both going to.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
These games are going totally better.
And they're not even heading back. They're not even heading back.
Oh, you can't be serious. So this is going to be double cheese. We're going to see double cheese from these guys. Neither player wants to take any chance. Both of them just trying to finish the other guy off right away. So let's see who can cheese the most. Whose cheese smells worst. And immediately Jumper laying down the pylon. Is Sneazel going to go for the horror gateways? We could see it. He lays down the pylon in the mineral line, not managing to get the big man of pylon off. That could have been really bad. But the horror gateways might still be able to happen here. So Sneazel going for the all-out balls to the wall crazy stuff while Jumper taking a little bit more of a back seat. But this is cheese versus cheese at this point, and the mana pylon does go down.
Oh man, neither player can defend this. There is no way either player defends this, as Jumper has already thrown down his pylon and Sneazel's natural. They're just gonna trade. It's gonna be a straight up trade, and both players are going to transfer their probes. We're gonna have probe drill drilling into probe drill. And just trade positions. I don't know how else this game could go.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, the gateway is putting Jumper slightly ahead, I suppose. No, actually, I think he's slightly behind in terms of gateway speed, but both of them are pretty much the same. And he's trying to pick off this pylon now. Actually, does manage to pick off the probe in his base. So a bit of a mistake there from Sneazel. If these pylons get taken out, then this could also be Jumper's game. It is absolutely critically important that he's been able to take out that probe, because now he can continue to take out pylons, and then from there to take out the gateway as well. He might be able to take out the gateway here if he has time, but no, he's going straight for the pylon. And will he be able to do this in time? I think maybe he will if he gets a full surround on that pylon right now.
He can't get it. I don't think he can get it down before the first Zealot comes out, but if only one Zealot comes out, he has enough probes that he can still beat the Zealot. And while it might cost him 4 probes, it doesn't matter if he's going to win the game anyway. As Sneazel is building a forge in his own base, but Jumper's first Zealot's coming out. I don't know how he could possibly get a cannon down, and the gateway is unpowered with only one Zealot coming out. Now it's all going to be a probe drill, and no, Sneazel just, yeah, he's going to stick around. He's going to make this annoying, going to force Jumper to constantly micro this. But still, one unpowered gateway, and the Zealot trying to get the win for the team. Meanwhile, Jumper's coming in with his own. The forge is finished, so Sneazel needs to throw down a cannon immediately, and that cannon, the cannon's actually not that covered by the probes. If Jumper comes around from the other side, he can focus it down with the Zealot, I think, but no, it looks like he's going to back off. And there goes the Zealot. The Zealot is down for Sneazel. Oh, no, it's not. It was up there. Sorry, I saw the explosion, but no, it's a probe explosion.
Yeah. So this is getting incredibly close at this point, because both players have to micro on both fronts, and can they keep their probes alive whilst also doing damage at the other end of things? Jumper does lose one probe right there, but he's also at the other end of things trying to take down this cannon. He might be able to get a good position on him. The probes are drilling just as much as possible. Sneazel might be able to keep this alive. Jumper cannon gets in, which it does. He's running to the other end of the map with his probes, so he's going absolutely all in on this, but I think it might be over here for Jumper. He might have missed his opportunity. The cannon is on incredibly low health, however, so he might still have one shot with this Zealot, but he has, I was about to say he has only one building, but of course he doesn't. He's got those gateways, that extra gateway up there as well. If he can take out this cannon very, very soon, he might just be able to take down all of Sneazel's stuff, but I don't know if he can win in an elimination race right now.
Jumper sent all of his probes across the map. He's now sending all of them back. He hasn't been mining for a while. There's a probe rebuilding the pylon to repower the gateway in Jumper's base. And Jumper, oh, Jumper, if he focused on the cannon sooner, came around from the other side so he couldn't be probe drilled even, it would have been enough. But now he needs to bring his Zealots back to try to hold off against what Sneazel has. I think he has... He doesn't actually have that many fewer probes, but no, doesn't matter. GG! 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 Big stuff there from both these guys, and Jumper goes down to Sneazel right there. In cheese versus cheese madness from both of these guys. So Sneazel will go 3-1 against the great Jumper. Hell of a way to go out.
Yeah,
hell of a way
really
to go out.
Incredible.
Sneazel advanced 3-1, and when people look at the brackets and it just says Sneazel 3-1, they will never know.
No, they will never know what happened. Yeah, this cast has to be linked pretty much everywhere, because this has been some seriously good stuff up till now.
Oh, okay. Wow, alright. Well, we still have one more series to cast, a series that you had said earlier that you were particularly excited to see. We have Napoleon versus Karate, a rematch of group stage, coming at you right after this commercial break.
Don't go anywhere, guys.